thinking and start leaving. Yes. And this is a very powerful conversation because obviously we're all going through weird phases in our lives right now. Maybe it's natural. I guess this is part of the human process and experience.
Yes.
But many people are yearning to have a sense of calm in the midst of this storm, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So some of us are, I don't know, we're trying all these things. Like some of us are resorting to religion and spirituality. Some people drugs. Other people workouts. You know, some of like myself, for example, the gym. Yeah, but one thing I've learned from all that you've told us so far is that staying calm can actually be learned.
Yes.
Yes, it's a skill that you can learn, and you can regulate your nervous system to a point where you're functional.
Agreed.
You know, you can go through the phases of life. Now, moving forward, Chebet, so all these experiences, all these practical things that you taught me, you know, I've had people talking about the breathing techniques, by the way, in the past.
Yes.
I used to listen to some other guy called Elliot Halls. He used to say, and you're supposed to breathe through your balls. I'm like, how do I do that? But now, exactly, but now I get it. You know what I mean? Yeah, there's a way you're supposed to go about it. Initially, it sounded kidogo trendy. So, I'm curious, maybe in your personal life, over the years, how often have you had to practice these things? Is it like an everyday thing? Is this now part of your nature? For example, the breathing, you know, the whole like meditating. Yeah.
Is there any time you don't breathe? Is there any time you don't breathe, Kev?
Of course, there's no time that I don't breathe.
You see, the thing about regulating our nervous system, let's start with the fact that there's a conversation I brought up earlier when we went on the break about the fact that kids, as children, you and I, were born knowing how to be and stay regulated. We did. And kids' cries communicate different things. If you keen enough and present enough to listen, you'll know a cry for wet pad, a cry for hunger, a cry for sickness. You'll know all of those things. But the truth is, because our system is encoded with data from 7 generations past, it means that our DNA, the way it's expressing itself, it has capacity for the worst of human experience and the best for human experience at the same time. So, depending on what you're exposed to all the time, every time, it will activate what is within the either section of your experiences at any particular moment. Meaning, if you're constantly exposed to stress, anxiety, things like that all the time, every time, meaning you're constantly worried about the future and constantly stuck about how the past is not so good, so there's no evidence of things working out, and therefore you're so concerned about the potential of the future working out, so you're carrying both anxiety and depression of the past at the same time. So you're constantly worried about your family, your jobs, all of those things. That's a very unnatural way of living. Kids, any child doesn't live like that. When a child walks in here, 2, 3-year-old, 4-year-old, 5-year-old, akingia, and then they've seen me once or twice, nichape umtoibare.
Yeah.
Atakasirika, atalia, atatoroka, and then after a while they'll come back and be like, hey, Tata Chebi, hi Kev, will you forgive me? Did I do something wrong? And that and the other, and then they moved on. Kev, I come across the table right now and kweketu bare. We are suing somebody at this point. We are fighting. Why? Why is our threshold for navigating and processing things this much, yet for a child is like this much? The truth is, when we were born, we knew how to regulate ourselves. But then because of experiences that we've gone through life, it has sent us closer and closer and closer to being constantly vigilant of what could possibly go wrong. And when we are vigilant of what could possibly go wrong, it means even our breath shifts. What would that look like? Humor me, Kevin. Imagine saizi you hear, and for real, it's like a gunshot or something like that, or a bomb, or guys running because there's, for whatever reason, to Mombasa Road, a lion found its way into the office, or there's a snake. If you shtuka, good one, show me how you'll shtuka.
I'm like, what?
Right?
What's
You've
that?
seen what has happened. Your shoulders are
my shoulders,
Okay, good. Now I want you to take a deep breath in, a proper deep breath in. Able to do that? Notice what is happening to your shoulders.
Yeah.
What has it done?
They kind of raised, they went higher, chest pier.
Agreed.
Yeah.
So the way you're breathing and the way unashtuka, do you see it the same? So every single time you're breathing, you're constantly telling your body, listen, right now we are breathing. Even when you think you're calm, even when you think you're at peace, even when you're making love to your partner, even when you're yawning, even when you're speaking, chilling in the forest, walking somewhere, regulating or grounding or nature therapy, whatever it is. So constantly, the data that your body is receiving is one of dysregulation, regardless of how much you perceive your work, you're regulated and you're activated. Even when you're gymming and you go to the gym, lift weight wrongly, what happens to your system?
It breaks down. I get an injury,
Good.
Yeah.
Breathe wrongly, same story.
What?
So you're being told to breathe from your balls. The point is, there's a yogic practice for deep breathing. I have a tool that I activated in my practice I call 360 breathing. And beyond that, there's also 6 in 60 at 360. Now, 6 breaths in 60 seconds and complete full breath, meaning your breath inatoka kwa the base of your tummy, inapanda all the way up, and the rest of your body stays as still as possible. I'll take a deep breath in, and then you can tell me add as much as I can possibly do. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'll take a deep breath in. I add more breath. Add more breath. Add more breath. Add more breath. Now notice my neck. Notice my shoulders. Did they move? Is there any nerve here, muscles here bulging out? The truth is, if the way we are breathing is wrong, that's how I started earlier by saying the game has been rigged. Atwendi mahali. You can do all those nervous system tools that are out there, but for as long as the one that you need 24/7 is unatumia gym vibaya, then you will do it for a bit, you'll feel the dopamine hit, you'll feel the calmness, but then it doesn't give you the impact that it could possibly give you if you're starting right.
So let me ask you something. Our bodies as they are right now, these are pretty much a physical manifestations of all those things that we've been going through, that even our past generations, from what you just said, have been going through. All the energies that they've experienced, they have manifested in who we are today as we are. So if you are dysregulated, it's a manifestations of all these other things that you've been accumulating in your body. Three things.
Your ancestral stories, your own personal life experience in this lifetime, and ancestral also could be your other experiences in other life. It could be when you're a child, it could be your future life that you yet to experience. Science told us that our gut instinct is actually a potential future that we feel before it arrives. There's studies on that, not my words only. And then it could also be your soul's key lessons and learnings. So all of these things is a cocktail of stories we're experiencing at the same time. And to note, if you've been awake, there's a lot of things that are happening in the world right now that seem to be biblical stories, from earthquakes to fires to governments shutting down, and those things don't seem to be lessening. So the world is putting pressure, inaongeza tu pressure. If you don't have capacity to meet this pressure with regulation, with calmness, we'll be blown up with the volcanoes that are blowing up around the world.
What does actual living look like? Somebody who's not going through stress, somebody who's not on survival mode, somebody who's quote unquote I don't want to say thriving, but you're in your perfect state. How does it look like?
In the Maslow's hierarchy, what is the highest? What is it?
I don't know, you tell me.
Self-actualization,
Yes,
right?
it's true, self-actualization.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the truth about to be self-actualized is not dependent on how wealthy, how much money you have, and all of those things. It's the ability to fully experience human experience with a healthy level of detachment and a healthy level of presence. Meaning, at any particular moment, your system is coherent, meaning your nervous system is operating from a place of homeostasis. You're both in the fight and flight and also in the rest and digest at equal measure.
Right.
Why is that so important? Because when you're operating too much from the fight and flight mode, instead of feeding into the energetic field around you, because we each have an energetic field. And beyond that, we also have the collective field. When you're constantly in fight and flight, instead of contributing energy to that field, you're drawing energy from that field. That can look like kuchomeana, could draw from people because you've wasted your own energy.
Yeah.
So the best way to operate is to draw across from people. So that will be stealing, talking shit about people, because now I need to talk badly about you, and then you react. So you give me your energy, and then I use your energy for whatever. That's where manipulation exists. That's where taking advantage of people exists, and all of those and the other. But if I'm coming from a coherent field, you will walk into the room and people will be like, wow, nasikia tu kumongelesha. Something about her is very calming. Something about her presence is really, like, I just want to be her friend. There's something about these people that just makes you want to experience them. Because you fit into the system.
Yeah.
Now, the next bit about this is your mind is clear. Now, we have a lot of conversations right now about the fact that AI will take over the world and things like that. I don't believe that. I mean, there are two timelines we're experiencing right now, one of survival and one of creation and expansion. Depending on which timeline you're in, yes, AI could possibly take over human experience. And in the other, AI will become a co-creative tool in the human experience. It can take over. But when you're operating from a level of consciousness that is in survival, your mind is constantly filled with what, coulda, shoulda, woulda. When you're coming from coherence, your mind is clear. Legit. Unakumbuka when you felt like you're in a trance, the way you felt at peace.
Yes.
Now imagine living from that state.
And it's actually something you can do day to day.
Yeah, you wake up and that's where your mind is.
Yeah.
Something happens, it takes you out into trying to process it, and then you're back. The beauty about those exercises we do are simple, especially regulation, especially getting your body to be regulated, is this. The effect is up to 6 hours.
Okay.
So the more you do them,
Yeah.
so for example, if you're constantly conscious of your capacity to be regulated every minute to the minute, your 6 hours it banks on each other, because if you're doing it every hour, I mean, you can imagine
it's cumulative. Let me ask you something, by the way. Sorry to cut you short. So for people who say, for example, you're at an older stage in your life, maybe you're in your 60s, 70s or whatever, and they're listening to you right now and they're thinking, damn, like I'm damaged, I'm a damaged soul. If I'm just thinking all the ish that I've been through in my past life, with my parents, my grandparents, all these other things now in his current life. You know what I mean? All the trauma that is carried. Can he actually reverse his things at that particular stage of their lives? The damage is done and it's very hard.
I have a client, she's 56. And let me read. No, I will not.
Yeah, because I've seen some people who've gone through so much, like even in
live radio, but she sent me feedback.
Yeah.
And she is doing incredibly well. Yet she's uko close to 60, and she's really, really expansive in her space right now, something she's never experienced.
She's actually healed from her past.
Somebody who even had cancer at some point, right? So she's healing, she's growing, and she's really getting regulated. In fact, most of my clients are way older than I am, and they're really doing so well. The ones that impress me are the ones who are slightly younger than I am or same age, especially those who have the drive to see a complete shift in life. Because when you're working from this particular level up, because now we're working from the brainstem, then the limbic, and then the neocortex. So meaning even when it comes to changing your identity, changing who you are, we're not changing a section of who you are. We're not working on your identity, for example. We're changing the template through which your genes are expressing every single minute. That will require a bit of commitment, which is why I said it requires devotion. You can't have to be devoted to seeing a difference in your life. And there's no, this one excited me. I got a call today from a kid. He was 12 last year when I did a camp. I have a super teens camp that I do every year. And this kid was one of the students in that camp last year. Lost the dad, lost the granddad in the same year. The mom is not present, being raised by the granddad. This kid has enough trauma for a 13-year-old. So he wasn't sharing. The moment we came into the session, he starts to speak, he breaks down. I'm like, okay, you don't have to share. The grandmom called me today. Let me tell you what time she called, because this melted my heart.
Yeah.
She called me at 12:47 p.m.
Yeah.
She called me to tell me, do you know that so-and-so was top 10?
What?
Do you know that he's playing this and that and the other? So I even told her to write me a review of how the kid shifted. And at the same breath, I get a feedback from a 57-year-old lady this year now, telling me how much her life has completely transformed after 2 months of session. See, nervous system work is not, because working with the body requires at least changing a behavior. It's not an overnight thing. Yeah. But the moment it sticks, ni kama workout. The moment you start to see shifts in your body, it doesn't go anywhere. Yes, the muscle could be inazaisha and all of those things, but what you learned you cannot unlearn. And if you do it with things that are constantly activating regulation, like just simple as just how you're breathing and breathing right, you do that every minute. There's no single time of your life you will be dysregulated. What will happen? You will be either shifting between the two states and finding a way to bring yourself back, because that is what resilience is.
Yes,
resilience
perfect. I like
is the
that.
ability to actually bounce back from life's hardship, stress, and all of those things. That's your capacity to be resilient. And most of the people that we see today, we don't know what it looks like to be resilient.
Yeah.
And the beauty is, the moment you learn to be resilient, then even emotional intelligence becomes very easy to learn. So all these stories of trying to learn about emotional intelligence without a regulated state is a patch. Because the issue is not in the emotions you're expressing, it's how you express those emotions. And if you're coming from a dysregulated state, kitu kidogo utalipuka, because let me use this example, and then you can ask your question. Imagine, if you will, you're assaulted when you're young. Ulishikwa na fadhe ukatandikwa, right? Alikuvuruta hivi, akakuinua nguo, akakuchapa. And that used to happen a lot when we were kids. Now saizi unatembea kwa barabara, alafu mtu wa mat akuvute hivyo, madam, suingie kwa hivyo. You're triggered. Ukasirike, umtukane. Msewa konda akoza we nini kwani mtu hawezi kuguza. To him, it's something so simple, kukuguza, but to you, your mind has the limbic bit and the brainstem together, survival bit, and then the mammalian bit where your emotions sit, has replayed in those milliseconds every single moment in your entire life where that similar experience has happened. And you see, the body records information through your senses. So touch, voice, your sound, your sight, seeing somebody doing that to you, your sensations in your body, all of those, your body keeps all of those data separately. And it's stacked in the body. And it's stacked first in, last out. So it's stacked in the body. Nikuje nikuvute. Even I, the one who's screaming, don't know why I'm screaming.
Yeah, it's true.
All I do know is I am so mad. Unanishika aje hivyo. So you spike and you get so angry. Now extrapolate this. Mlango imekuvuruta, umeingia kwa umekasirikia mlango, unataka hiyo lock, unataka kuvuta.
While you're speaking, I'm thinking these things actually end up becoming generational. Like you pass them down to your kids.
You do.
So at the same time, if you start working on yourself, if you start self-regulating, you also pass that to your kids.
Exactly.
Oh, that's amazing. Exactly. That gives me so much hope.
Exactly, you do.
Yeah.
You change and that's how that's the concept of hurt people, heal people. Because you not only pass it down to your kids, you also heal backwards. Because now the way your mom speaks to you in a dysregulated state and triggers you, and when they speak to you from a regulated state and it doesn't trigger you, changes. Because I have a client, she's telling me, ati madhe ananiambia, misipendi ukinyamaza sana, because the mom is so used to her screaming back, shouting back, getting angry with her, spiraling with her. So when she's calm and she doesn't take on the emotions, because you see, when I'm screaming with you, I love the way Buddha's used this as an example. He's like, he was out teaching one day and then somebody came in and started tukanaing the guy. He's like, oh, whatever. This guy is teaching. Buddha is teaching. And then in the crowd of people, somebody comes and starts screaming, hurling insults at him.
Yeah.
The Buddha is just continuing with his stories unbothered. This guy gets so mad.
Yeah.
And then he goes and asks Buddha, so why were you not responding to me?
Yeah.
And then, because after a while, he just kept quiet. Because he's like, Uyatani Jibu, I sound like a mad person. The Buddha's like, I don't have to receive your gifts. If you give me a gift and I don't like the gift, do I need to take it? No, I don't need to take it. So you keep your gift. And the moment when you're trying to pass energy to somebody in that state and they don't receive it, so if you're regulated and you don't receive that, this person is exhausted. Now they're depleted because they needed to feed off your reactionary energy.
It's true.
But you've cut that code. That story is ended.
Yeah.
So anakuskrimia, not that you're ignoring anything. You actually, early in the year, I met this guy. And then he's trying to get me to react in the way that would feed his ego. I was like, why are you angry? Are you angry because I'm not responding to you the way you want me to respond? He started saying, oh, you're emotionally bypassing. Oh, you're using spirituality to... I was like, did I speak anything spiritual? No, I'm hearing you. And I'm asking you, why are you so angry? Are you angry because I'm not responding to you with so much panic and anxiety that you want me to? Or because you're not getting the feedback you wanted?
Yeah.
He was so mad.
It's fascinating you put it like that. And I never took his
gift.
Yeah.
I was like, thank you very much. I appreciate you. Unani tukana. If I tukana you in Kale right now, Mchingani. Do you know what that means? Because it sounds like Mjinga.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't react, right?
Yeah, so I wouldn't care.
Exactly. You wouldn't care. So if I speak to you in a language that you don't understand, if I give you a gift that you don't want, you will not react to me.
Let me ask you something, because I can see we're running out of time.
No.
Self-regulation, I know, me too. Self-regulation also requires you to listen to your body and know when to rest while you're out here engaging in your own personal business. Let's talk about this whole idea of resting.
Okay.
It's such an important thing.
Yes.
It's only until recently that I realized it's actually my divine right to rest.
Agreed.
It's a privilege to rest.
Agreed.
Resting is also part of your growth. It's part of your journey. Now, how should we go about resting? Is it until now we feel like, okay, nimeanza ku burn out, or should we have it in our day-to-day also routines? Should we have like a timeline for resting? Maybe we say an hour here, I'm not doing anything. I'm just going to be chilling, being meditative.
Now, you see that an hour here of doing nothing?
Yeah.
I call it DNT, do nothing time. That's a tool for regulation.
Nice, yeah.
It's called DNT.
Yeah.
I literally just switch off the lights, switch off everything, switch off my phone, and I just sit and be there. Because boredom is such a powerful tool for activating creativity. But right now we want to kill boredom 24/7. But that is very different from rest. Very, very different from rest. Now, you've mentioned burnout. If we are coming from a regulated state, I promise you, no concepts of burnout don't exist.
Oh, interesting.
They don't exist.
Yeah?
Burnout exists because we are dysregulated. We have pushed our system so far to the end until it's like, I'm out, bye, check out never. And it's gone. So your system shuts down, your mind is on constant rolling and rolling and rolling, it never slows down. And guess what? Your heart is shut. Closed off. And research right now shows that the biggest causes of cardiac issues is stress. It can be, I like to use this example when I'm doing my coaching program, that our stress levels as a child, our capacity to handle stress is between 0 say to 1. That's why akigongo kimslap atafika kwa 2 arudi, afike kwa 4 arudi. But normal grown-up versions of us, our stress level normal is at 4 or 5. So already we are spiked. So when kitu kidogo gongas you like this, you're at 7, and then after umechapa one card drink or like this, ama you've watched a game, ama umerudi to 5. So you think 5 is normal, but 5 is absolutely crazy. It is not okay.
Yeah, that's me.
Right? Exactly.
Yeah.
So we are constantly there, and then guess what we do? We start looking for dopamine hits to get us feeling some type of good. But your dopamine after gym, imeisha 2-3 hours later,
back to
in fact toka nje ya gym alafu kutane na traffic na mse mwenye atakuongelesha vibaya,
back to default.
You're back to default, right? Because that's the brain likes to conserve energy, so it will not start to look for, I need to be right. No, it will be like, toka kwa barabara ukukuja na barabara si ya baba yako. So we lose it, we go crazy, right? So the important thing to recognize here is this: when we're experiencing burnout, that is a signal, a smoke signal, like it's the worst, like that's where your body is now getting to limit, because past that is physical sickness, shutdown. And the bodies are so creative, because I will invent actual disease to get you to stop working, to get you to slow down. I will literally make you sick. The body will resort to, the best way for me to actually get time to recover is by complete shutdown. What does an ulcers look like? I think that will work for you. Or what does an IBS look like? Actually, I think a cancer is a better one for you.
But I'll take pills.
Yes, exactly.
Go back to the grind.
Exactly. Matime hakuna,
hey, man, I need to chase the bag.
Exactly. When you're operating from a regulated state, the parasympathetic state's role is rest and digest. Literally, that is the function of the parasympathetic nervous system. And there's a very specific highway in this particular nerve highway that is important for activating our capacity to rest and digest. It's called the vagus nerve. That's a whole different conversation. Now, that vagus nerve, kazi yake ni kuactivate vitu kama oxytocin, vitu kama endorphins. Endorphins is your body's natural medicine, your ability to heal yourself, which is something I went through. Healed, I talked about it last session. Healed endometriosis, things that have killed people. Healed fibromyalgia. Got myself from 120 something kgs to what I look today, which I think
for real.
Yes,
120.
I know. Plus,
very
right?
Impressive.
And then IBS, gastritis, all of those things. Some of this fibromyalgia. I was coughing blood because of COVID, and I stopped taking medication. I was hospitalized. I had ADHD. You know, the people, I have ADHD and things like that, and it feels like a badge of honor. Procrastination is shame, and that's because of, perfectionism is shame. And that, how many people do you know? I'm a perfectionist. Yeah, they're like, I'm carrying shame all over, and I'm trying to tell the whole world. That's what perfectionism is. I
like how you put it. I think so too.
Yeah, that's exactly what perfectionism is a child of shame. Right? So I'm there telling people, I'm a perfectionist, so please, I used to be that way. And the truth is, you cannot fully operate life from that point, because you will get to burnout. But when you activate regulation, Kev, nobody will tell you to rest. Your system will no longer comprehend nonsense. It is wired in you. When you're in places where your body is like, no, I promise you, hautaambiwa twice.
Let me tell you something.
Hautaambiwa twice.
You know, it got to a point where just a couple of months ago, I couldn't take it anymore. You know, I was ignoring what my body was telling me.
Yeah.
But ilifika ile point yenye, I knew very well, if I don't respect what my body is telling me, I'm gonna pass out, I'm gonna die.
Yeah.
And I chose to literally isolate some people permanently. I don't care, because they don't, like we were talking off air, because I'm not in the vortex when I'm with these guys. I'm in a state of anxiety, tension. My body is full of this weird feeling. Fear.
The body is never
exactly
wrong. It is never wrong.
And the body's never wrong. And now, one thing that I'm learning is now I've got to be intentional with self-regulation moving forward.
You have to.
Yeah.
Because the truth is, when you're operating from dysregulation, you don't even know who are safe people and who are not.
Okay.
Until it's bad, and you can be like, vibe huyu msenye mistaki. But sometimes it could even be your girlfriend or your boyfriend or your
true.
Or
yeah,
your
it's
boss
true.
Or your co-workers.
Yeah.
And sometimes
especially co-workers.
And sometimes and sometimes it could be they're safe for you, but because they're telling you things that you're not in a state to receive, they're a problem. So you shut them out. You avoid them because they're telling you things that you'd rather not deal with.
What if you're the danger? What if you're the danger to yourself?
We are always the danger to ourselves. That's where we start.
Okay, that's where we start,
Yeah, that's where it starts, because I've ignored myself so much, and because I've ignored, then I look for other ways to try and avoid ever listening, and that can put me in spaces where I'm doing dangerous things to my body to avoid ever listening. Because sometimes life can be very heavy. You've gone through so much grief after grief after grief, life, and or you've hurt people, or you've done things to people that you're not proud of, and you want to avoid ever feeling that, and you resort to drinking, you resort to constantly sleeping around so that people can harsh the way you're hurting, because hurt people. And most of the time, the scale as to which we hurt people varies. But we use people, we manipulate people to get things the way we always are. And the problem is, when you're living from dysregulated state, it's much easier to point that finger outward than to call yourself out.
Wow, that's powerful.
And because of that,
yes.
we don't have capacity to take responsibility when we're dysregulated.
Yes.
We don't, because we avoid it. Because why? It will mean I'll have to feel guilt. I'll have to process the shame I'm dealing with. And when even things like narcissism is shame.
Yeah.
So it's much easier for me to try and assert control over somebody else than to actually sit with what I am feeling. Because when I do that, it would mean that I'll have to look at myself in the mirror and, God forbid, I call myself out, right?
Gloria, I'm going to have to cut you short.
Okay.
And I hate it because you're dropping bars, and I love the engagement online. Somebody's listening to you right now, very briefly.
Yeah.
And they are in a state of chaos, distress.
Yes.
They don't know what to do with their lives. Some of them have even contemplated suicide for whatever reason. Right now, it's 8:35. What should they do?
First things first, I was there to the point of not contemplating, actually attempting. And I'm very grateful for my bestie at the time, because she sat through with me through the night when that happened. And I'm going to tell you this. You're not here by default. You're not here because aufai kuapa. If you want to take that route, nobody can force you out. But I can tell you this. There's so much beauty to life if you allow yourself to. So right now, before you make that choice, slow down, focus on your breath. If anything, I have this lady, she came in for discovery call. She drinks herself to sleep because she couldn't sleep. After our discovery call, not even sessions, she wrote me an email. She's like, since our session, I don't need to drink to sleep.
Yes.
I just focus on my breath and I doze off without even knowing.
Oh, wow.
Just focus on your breath and the world will figure itself out. Because guess what? The being, the divine source that brought you here, I promise you, ikona plan ya venye itakutoa hapa safely.
Yeah, I love it.
And the only thing that you get to do is surrender the desire to control your life.
Yes.
You don't know tomorrow, neither do I.
I want you to repeat what you just said. The divine intelligence that brought you here.
Exactly.
Proceed.
The divine intelligence that brought you here has a plan for how to get you out of this place. So don't try and force yourself to figure it out. Surrender. Before you go to sleep today, be like, hey God, listen. Now usimuongeleshe nika una beg, by the way. Don't go there begging, oh please tusaidie baba kitu nakufa. That's survival mentality and survival prayer. And that expands your vibration, because your emotions and your thoughts are deeply electric, and emotions are magnetic, and your nervous system is the regulator, is the tuner that determines what you're calling out and you're bringing in. So even if my prayer is like akibaba tunaomba tusaidie sisi wako safe, and you're there praying as if shida zinakukumba zako zote and you're telling God all of your problems, the divine intelligence is like, okay, what I'm hearing is mashida zinakukumba, so you want more of that, bet.
Oh my God, Jesus Christ.
Because that's the vibration you're sending out.
Yeah, that was me.
Yeah, so that's what you're telling the universe.
That's how I used to pray.
No, relax. In fact, one of the best practices you can do right now is, I want you to focus on your breath, and then if you're anything like I used to be, feeling elevated emotions can be very difficult. That is joy, peace, gratitude, compassion, all of those things, empathy. When you're coming from a dysregulated state, even being empathetic is hard. We go there so quickly. And we even celebrate when people are, it's called Schadenfreude, if I pronounce that properly. We celebrate when people are hurting. Hata ni vizuri huyo mdosi aliumia, unaona kuishi Karen, kwani ndio ni vizuri aliumia. We get so happy when people get hurt, because you're like, because misery loves what?
Company.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So right now, focus on your breath, and then just put your awareness on your heart center. And in this moment, even when there's nothing to be grateful for, just, I'm grateful for my breath. And in this moment, I am deeply grateful for my breath. And say that until you deeply feel that gratitude rising in your system. Feel that thankfulness rising in your system. Even that desire to take yourself out. Because that divine intelligence in on itself knew at some point utatry kufanya hivyo. So there's nothing wrong about what our experiences has been as humans. Nothing wrong. There's no bad or good until you assign it that way.
Okay.
So you're not bad for the things you've done. You're not bad for the things you have experienced. They don't exist.
Are there
and then
any,
once you felt that elevated emotion from that place, now tell the divine what you desire to experience.
Okay.
Hey, I am grateful for what has been my life. And right now, I wonder, what would alignment look like? What would peace feel like? What would joy feel like? What would compassion feel like? Because the brain likes questions also. Because when you ask, what would this feel like? It will look for ways up and down to try and bring you reality that will prove to you what you're asking for.
I agree.
And you can use your faculties. You can use how you feel. You can use a regulated state. That's your body. How you feel is your heart. And what you're thinking being your mind. So before you take that step to take yourself out, please reach out to me. My socials are available. I am Gloria Chebet. I love that. You can try and reach out to me.
I love that.
If and when I do have capacity, I promise I will respond.
Are there any resources you'd recommend for guys to read or probably watch? Are you on YouTube as well?
I am on YouTube. I am Gloria Chebet. I am on socials. I am Gloria Chebet. Same across different platforms. I have free sessions on I think I go live on TikTok every single time. I have free classes.
Nice.
I have one-on-one coaching programs. I've taught close to 20,000 people since last year up until now on that platform. And the worst part is most of them are white people. Not white, not there is a problem, but I would really love if more Africans, more Kenyans can come on that platform, to be honest. So I'll go live on TikTok. I'll go live on Sundays when I do have that session. I think I've scheduled a couple of nervous system regulation practices. So when you do see me live, hata kama naongelea vitu zenye hazi make sense to you, it will just come into that practice and sit down. Because one-on-one sessions with me, you might not afford it. Because if you're where I was, pesa inaweza kuwa tight. But take advantage of the free sessions, guys. Take advantage of those. And I'm not the only teacher who teaches about this. Be curious. Please be curious about wanting to be and do better. Be curious about wanting to feel better. And I promise you, even if you've given a life sentence kind of disease, I healed them. I'm not saying that we all must. I'm saying that if you give yourself a chance, your body a chance. Our body is such a divine intelligence system. It's biotech. And it's a tech that knows what it needs to do to be healthy. Oh, shall I do anything to fix kidonda wewe? Itajisort. Mbona usikuwe na the same attitude about your headache before urushe Panadol kwa kichwa? Mbona usikuwe na the same attitude? You ask me why I drink water with salt in it. Salt, how many of us are being told to go buy magnesium, to go buy potassium? Salt is a natural electrolyte. You put it in water, in warm water, and instantly it gives your body the boost it needs. They're natural medicines that we know now that we can have access to. Simple. Sodium, salt, namaji, boom, done. Your stomach issue starts to be regulated. Your ability to your body to get more water, because also that is a big problem. Dehydration can be fixed. Your cell health can be fixed because mitochondria health. And if you get your nervous system regulated, I promise you this Kenya will be a very different country tomorrow. And we will be fighting to get the government to fix things for us. In fact, tukimwangalia tukijua
Gloria, thank you so much for coming through. You know, I can listen to you the whole day. It's been such an important conversation for many Kenyans like myself right now.
I'm glad.
Like I said, we're going through stuff, especially millennials. Every other time on the news, we read about guys falling sick and giving up. You know, suicide rates are through the roof. And for me, engaging with people like you, just gets to show me how they're actually, there's hope. The people who've, you know, taken it upon themselves to be resourceful, to add value to the country. And we bless you and we're very thankful for what you're doing.
Thank you very
Asante
much.
Sana.
Thank you for having me here. I'm super, super grateful. And I really hope as many people get to learn ways of getting yourself regulated. and be curious about wanting to experience the fullest expression of your soul.
Thank you so much.
Be curious.
Asante Sana. I know we're going to have another conversation.
You better call me back.
We will. There's a lot we can touch on.
Then we talk about human intelligence. I really cannot wait to talk about that.
I love that. Those are my type of conversations.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Right now, Good Together by Shelia. It's 2:45. When we come back, there's more conversations. So remember, you can always stream live on www.spicefm.co.ke. I'm going to be live on Facebook as well as on YouTube. This is the home of Sugar Spice and everything nice. Let's go.
The latest talk and greatest